Alright, what's up guys, Azura here, and today we are here to take a look at Angels, more specifically Gav, or Rescue, whatever you want to call this deck. This deck, back in set 9, got a bunch of new cards, but the most important card they got was the Altiel, which is their new GR Stride, so when we get to that, we will get to that, but without further ado, let's get on with the list and what I am playing. So this is the list that I'm personally playing, so I think the most notable thing here is the 9 crit, and I'll get to why I'm playing 9 crit once we actually get to the grade 3s. But we'll start from the top to bottom as per usual. Starter with the Sunny Smile, it is the 5th heal, it is a card on board. If you damage it, you recycle back into the deck. It's very good. I actually have no idea what any of the rescue starters actually do, so I just kind of default to the Sunny Smile. But whatever those starters do, I'm sure it's not as good as Sunny Smile, so that's how you play her. Grade 1s, we play 2 grade 1 nose heals. On play, put a card from hand damage, and then take a card from damage to your hand. This is the only hand swapper we have in the deck. I really would like to play some grade 2s as well, and I think there are some slots you could probably cut, mainly this grade 2 right here at the this yellow winged girl. But this is your main source of swapping, but I think you rescue enough to put stuff in your damage that you will see it often enough as like once a game. So I do think the 2 here is very nice to have, and I do think the 2 is consistent enough that you'll probably see like one of it per game, hopefully. So yeah, I definitely think there are some ratios you play around with grade 2s to fit in more nose heals, but I think as per the grade 1s, I think you can get I think 2 is the max you can get away with, maybe a third if you want to cut down on a copy of her, but we'll get to her right after that. 4 Stride Fodder. As you can see, this deck isn't playing too many grade 3s, only 5 grade 3s, so 4 Stride Fodder is absolutely necessary, and she finds you your main ride, so no reason not to play 4. We play 3 of this girl. I'll just say now, I don't know the names of half these units. So she is the grade 1 girl. Her skill is Damage Zone. GB1, when this card is rescue checked, when this card is put from damage to drop, you can call her to board. So basically, when you rescue her off with one of your skills, actually, when this card is rescued off, I'm pretty sure you can't just kill it off and then call her. But when this card is rescued off, you can call it. So this card is like a free booster, which is pretty nice. I think as long as you can, as long as you know what you're doing in the deck, you can kind of manipulate your damage zones so you rescue off exactly what you want. But because of zero rules in general of prioritizing like top face down and then top to bottom, sometimes you can't heal off exactly what you want. Sometimes you're like one rescue check off to rescue exactly what you need off, so that kind of sucks. But this card being a free booster is still very nice. And then finally, we're playing the Rescue PG. This card's skill is GB1 Rescue 1. When you use the PG from hand, if you have another copy of this card in your damage zone, you CB1, you heal 1 off and rescue check 1. So what this card does basically means if you're at 5 and you 1 is in your damage, right? You PG, and then after that you would heal 1 off and take a damage. And since it's 0 rolls, you get 5k when you take a damage. You get additional 5k mid during your opponent's battle phase, even when you're at 5. And it gets even more when you scale if you're on Gav, because Gav gets an additional 2k for her GB2. So this card, if your opponent doesn't know what this card does, or they haven't seen it, or they just can't play around it, this card can just screw up kill turn super well. So I think this card is absolutely worth playing over the CCPGs. I think Angels don't have an issue with CC at all, because every time you rescue all your face downs prioritized first, so you put them face up, so you almost always have CP face up for your play. So yeah, that's the grade 1s. Grade 2s, 3 Harut. Harut is the Amber Clone when when unit attacks Vanguard is boosted. CB1, checked out 3, put a card from damage from among them to damage, and call a card from damage. The reason we don't only play 3 is because with how the deck does its rescue attack order now, Van is always going at Van, and you have something else if you extend your multi-attacks. Harut is not too used anymore as like your main kill turn line, because the max spot, the way you want to utilize the Harut is you want it to be rescued off so you can call it over this girl. So I guess this girl is pretty important to understand the combo line. So this girl's skill is once per turn, CB1. When something is rescued out of your damage zone, you can CB1 and call it to the same column as this card. So the ideal situation for this is you rescue off of her route. So you go rear to rear, you go Van to Van, and then because the skill you'll be using here will be the Gav. You go attack, you rescue off the Harut, and then after you do your checks, you would use this card's CB1 skill to call the Harut over itself. So you, after the Van attacks, you can use the Harut to go in and extend the attack to the other side after the other side has attacked. If you extend it again, or if that side is rested, you can Harut into something on that side. So a little convoluted, but what you will see how this works. I'm pretty sure I did something like that. So you will see how this deck once you actually like get around and play the deck, play with the deck a bit yourself. But that's like the main gist of what you want for your like optimal kill turn combo. So yeah, so 3 hurts because of that. It's not. It's an extension. It's not your main kill line anymore. So I think 3 is perfectly fine. I think 3 is enough. Next up, we have 3 of her. She is a grade 2 version of this girl. When rescued from your damage, you can call it to board, which is pretty nice. Again, she's like a free version of her if you can rescue something. If you can rescue her out of your damage zone to get an extra attack in. Next up, and we have 3 of the Glimmer clones. On play, if you're fans of Gav, Soul Blast 1, CB1, put a card from hand to damage, and then call a card from your damage to your board. She gets plus 2k, and then rescue 1. So you heal 1 off, you damage 1. So this card is your external way to rescue. It's pretty nice. You're playing a bunch of the grade 0 crits, so you realistically should never run out of souls. You can actually use all these if you draw into all of them, so it's pretty good. And overall, just a pretty solid card. Again, if you only have 1 of her, you could always try to rescue her off, and then call her over her, and then you use her skill to call something else to the other side. So that always works. It's pretty nice. So it can help you fix board, more rescue checks, or it can be an extender. So I think all these grade 2s have a pretty solid role in the deck. Honestly, I think Harut is probably the worst grade 2 in this lineup, but you still play because it's an extra extender. So yeah, that's it for grade 2s. For triggers, 4 heal guards, 4 the grade 0 Strider crits when they go into soul. So when your grade 3 or higher Van attacks, grade 3 or higher Gav Van attacks, it goes to soul, and you can draw 1, get plus 5, and then damage zone is damage checked, you draw 1. So the main notable thing here is that if you rescue check these grade 0 crits, they do count as crits and draws, because when you rescue them, right, they get the original trigger effects, which would be a crit, so your Vanguard get a crit, plus an extra 5. But since in 0 these cards also have, when they go to damage zone, you get to draw 1. If you rescue check these crits, they are both draws and crits, which I think is very, very good for this deck. And the reason we play 9 crit is because these are pseudo draws. And then also, I've ran into enough games where I was actually still decking even with Altiel, which if you don't know, she does recycle a deck with rescues and stuff. So even then, before my first list, I was trying just grade 3s on draws and only these on crits. Personally, I don't really care for these extra crits and all, but sometimes decking out is an issue, so that's why we're on 9 crit now. And next off the main ride, the only thing everyone will be on is the Gav. GB2, when you take a damage, your front row gets plus 2, so she gets a little extra bigger, harder to scale against. And then on stride, CB1, checked out 3, at 1 hit damage, call 1 from damage to board. If you call it face down, turn the card you put into damage face down as well. And then on ride 3k. So this card is good because plus 1 every turn, and the GB2 is very good defensively, so very, very nice. And then since Altiel is also a flip, you're guaranteed GB2 first ride every single game. So that's really good there. And then the one of, no idea what her name is, but damage zone, CB2, you can call her from damage, she gets plus 2, and then rescue 1, so heal 1, and then damage 1. It's pretty cool there. I think that's what that skill is. But her other skill is in drop zone, when you use her to pay cost for stride, you can Soul Blast 1 and put her into damage and then heal 1 off. So that's pretty cool there. You can put more crits into your damage and then maybe rescue it off, so you can put it back with Altiel. It's pretty cool. Just a filler 1-up, nothing else much to say. I think this is just a pretty cool 1-up to play in the deck. You could play something else here. You can play like the Palace if you wanted to, but I think this card going to damage and then rescuing it off and then putting it back with Altiel is pretty cool. So that's why I play 1 of it. That's it for the main deck. For the G zone, 1 harmonics. I honestly think all the strides for angels, if you're not playing celestials, are ass because you can't play Mikkel. And we've already basically maxed on all the GRs. I don't have a 4th Altiel, but I don't think I play a 4th one, but it's an option if you have it. But 1 harmonics because it's here if a Luar player wants to be cheeky and still damage now you. This card is an instant out to it, so it's very good. 4 rafts. GB2, heal 1 off. Honestly speaking, I don't think I've ever gotten this card. It's here, it's an option. You play 4, because I have 4. If you only have 2, you play 2, and you fill in whatever other strides you have. I remember correctly, all the angel sides suck. I remember, you guys can play like an Uriel and a Raziel. I can tell you for a fact you're never going to the Raziel. You're probably never going to Uriel either, so maybe in the rare scenario where 2 pairs of Ras will actually matter, I think this has a more chance of being impactful than like 1 Raziel, 1 Uriel. So yeah. Next up, 4 Gav strides. Her skill is on place, CB1 to G flip and gain the following 2 effects. I think this is only during battle phase. I actually don't remember, but basically, when the thing is rescued off, you can give 2 units +2, so you can give 4 to a column or like +2 to 2 different sides. You make things solo attackers, you make things scale, and then on this unit attacks, rescue 2. So on this unit attacks, heal 2, damage 2. So that's pretty cool there. This is your main way to get your multi attacks going, because you know, like I said, the line is usually like your board is like 2 boosters that ideally you don't have to use, and then you have like 2 of her in the front row ideally. You go both unboosted to rears, ban swings, heal 2, and then you rescue, you get your triggers, so ideally see some crits and stuff. And then you use each of their skills to CB1 to call over themselves, so you can get 2 more attacks to face. So that's basically the gist of the combo. That's like the simple bare bones combo line. So and because this card's other skill, you can make sure those other rears hit, because a minimum you rescue 2, meaning you can give minimum +4 to both sides, which is more often enough to hit over the defensives. You can force everything on one side to try to hit over heal guards. So I think just this card itself is actually very good. The biggest issue with this deck before was deck out, but now Altiel really helps it. So this card before was honestly perfectly serviceable, nothing wrong with it. The only issue was if you're playing this, you're actually asking a deck out because the deck that would play this before probably would have been Celestials, because I think before this wave, I think Gav was terrible, and Celestials were still playing draws, and you just check a bunch of draws, you deck yourself out. So with that no longer being an issue, this card is actually very good. So definitely, I think you definitely need 4 of this. This is your main finisher, quote unquote, and I definitely think 2 you can maybe get away with it, but I definitely think you want 4. And finally, the new card that fixes the decks, all the decks issue with the Altiel. So her skill is CB1, flip anything. Let me just tell you now, you are G flipping here, because for every 1 copy of you rescue +1 equals +1, or rather you rescue 1 per copy of Altiel in your G zone +1. So for example, if you G flip, right, because if you flip itself, you would have the Altiel and the +1, so you'd rescue 2. So on play, it'd be on play, flip, rescue 2. And yeah, if you don't flip another copy of Altiel, it'd be rescue 1, because you know, another copy face up. This GB3 skill is in play relevant, you get power. But the reason you want to G flip is because of this skill. G zone, if your G zone has 2 or more face up copies of Altiel in your G zone, at the end of your turn, any cards you rescued into your damage zone go back into your deck. So for example, just off of this, assuming you don't call any of the cards that got rescued off of this effect, you'd be putting 2 cards back in your deck minimum, because you stride, you pay cost, you flip copy yourself, you rescue 2. Those 2 cards go back to the bottom of your deck, meaning every single turn, while you're making your plays, you will still be putting cards back to the bottom of your deck. So that's very good. And if you can find ways to manipulate it, you can guarantee triggers back into your deck, or very important pieces back in your deck. So I think this card by itself fixes a bunch of issues with the deck, mainly deck out. But this card's a very good first strike too, because it also G flips, meaning Gav's GB2 is live on first strike. So yeah. So that's it for Angels. Honestly, I'm not a fan of Angels, but I think this deck is actually very fun. I really enjoy this deck. Quite expensive actually, because you do need, in my opinion, minimum like 6 GRs. I'm playing 3 Altiels, I have 3. Realistically, I don't think I've ever gone hit the 3rd one, but I think you need minimum 2 Altiels, and ideally 4 Gavs. So I think, in my opinion, minimum 6 GRs to play this deck. So quite expensive, but in my opinion, a very fun deck to play. So yeah. Awesome games for you guys as per usual, and tell me what you guys think about this deck down in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.